Hey friends, today we're going to talk about my top 7 predictions for the changes that will happen within the digital marketing landscape, with the first one being increased use of artificial intelligence and automation. We're already seeing that today with a couple of different digital marketing channels, including paid advertising. If you think of Performance Max, there's a lot of automation aspects to it. You add a couple of different headlines, a couple of images and videos, and Google's machine learning model will automatically deploy those ads and those ad impressions towards a couple of different inventories across all their channels, including Google Search, Google Shopping, Google Display, YouTube, and Google Discovery. And rather than you having to create separate campaigns, you can essentially just have one campaign do that for you. And then on the SEO/copywriting aspect, there's a lot of different tools like Jasper.ai, Copy.ai, WriteSonic, where you deploy a couple of different bullet points or even one headline, and within a couple of seconds you'll have your automated blog post. We're starting to see that automation and AI will really start to take over a lot of campaign activations beyond just paid, beyond SEO. There might be in software that crawls your website and creates holistic marketing campaigns for you within a couple of clicks. Second point, I predict that a lot of B2B and B2C companies will start to approach their marketing messaging more towards a human-to-human approach, or more as a direct-to-consumer. And what I mean by that is, rather than their messaging being very corporate and catering towards stakeholders and C-suite level execs, it will be more personalized in a way that it speaks to an actual human rather than a group of people. That really goes back to the idea of community building, tribe building, or brand building, where you're trying to promote your product or service in a way that really sells to an individual, not just a group of people or not just to a business. So again, my prediction is that a lot of B2B and B2C brands will cater their messaging more towards a direct-to-consumer, or at least a similar type of messaging where it's speaking to an individual. And even though the product or service might be very general in the sense that it can be used by loads of different types of people or demographics, they might have campaigns specific towards those different audience segments, for example, depending on the persona that they're trying to target. But generally speaking, I predict that it will be very personalized to the customers that they're trying to acquire. Third one is, I believe that there's going to be a lot more ad placements and available ad inventory space with loads of new technologies, whether that's augmented reality, VR headsets, gaming consoles, smart TVs, and whatever other future tech that will be released at some point. Marketing now isn't just really siloed in the sense that, we're seeing all these different channels as one, whether that's CRM, organic social media, SEO, paid advertising. They're going to be started to be seen as one, and new technologies or new gadgets will start to be seen not just as its own individual channel, but I believe that there's just going to be a lot more ad impressions deployed towards those specific gadgets, if you will. And I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but it's interesting how that will evolve over time. Point 4, which relates to point 2 quite drastically, is that I believe that a lot of digital marketing strategies will start to become more personalized, or I call it hyper-personalized, where whenever you see an ad, it's going to cater to you specifically. There's an aspect of a persona being spoken to rather than a group of people, or a wide range or generic type messaging. It's going to be catered to your interests, or maybe if you're in market for a specific product, the ad that you will see will be deployed to you specifically. So it's more hyper-personalized, and it's not too generic. You're not going to get a lot of random ads that doesn't quite relate to you. Fifth prediction is that cookies will eventually disappear, but the truth is that there will always be some sort of tracking, whether that's on the Google platform or that's on your iPhone. A lot of what they do is data acquisition and data storing, and that's where their leverage really is, right? They can use that data to predict what section of the product should be improved, what type of audience segments or demographics are working well for a product. Those data points that you provide them by using their platforms, whether that's Facebook, Twitter, even your phone, any of your Google searches, those are valuable items or valuable insights for them as a company. But to that point, my actual prediction is that there'll be a lot more emphasis using first-party data to improve your performances, and there's going to be a lot more focus on using interest/contextual based targeting, which is happening already. You're able to target someone based on the type of interest, the type of websites they visit, or the particular search terms that they have the intent to research about. And I think that aspect of targeting within paid advertising specifically is going to increase more and more. My sixth prediction is that there will be a lot more brands, even in the B2B space, where they're going to start using a lot more affiliates or partners, whether that's, publisher websites, that's actual external partners, or social media influencers deploying social proof for the brand or product, because we're heading into that world where a lot of products and services are so similar similar, that the only way to distinguish it is from the messaging that they deploy on their website or app, or we might base our decision to buy or engage with that brand using social proof. And what better way to build trust within your audience by having social media influencers that they might potentially already follow as your social proof. And an extension of that is, as a business, you want to be able to focus more on your reviews, your social proof, and potentially using user-generated content for your ads and your organic content in general, where it's not you just talking about your product or service all the time, it's people who actually use it as a way to hook new users in. My final prediction is that a lot of marketing campaigns or digital marketing campaigns will focus more on a holistic messaging across a couple of different channels or across every digital marketing channel possible, whereas I believe right now it's still quite fragmented. You might have, your organic social media talk about something else, and then your paid advertising channel will talk about something else completely, and then your blogs might talk about something else completely. I believe in the future there'll be consolidated campaigns and consolidated marketing messages across the different channels more consistently, so you're not confusing the audience and there's a sense of unity across those different channels. So we know that the digital marketing landscape is changing pretty rapidly, whether that's every week, every month, there seems to be a new algorithm change, there's a new platform, there's a new feature within the platforms that we use, and there's a lot of habitual changes from the user's point of view as well, whether that's a more focus on privacy, especially with iOS 14.5, having the ability to not be tracked, which is not a good thing for us marketers. And then obviously keep in mind that there's so many advancements in technology and artificial intelligence. So I think the digital marketing landscape is really interesting at this point because there's going to be a lot of new changes, and I feel like my predictions will probably just scratching the surface. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think are things that will happen or change in the future for the digital marketing landscape? Leave your comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and thank you for watching the video. Peace and love.